Like when I learned to journal, one of the best questions somebody told me is just to say, Lord, how do you see me?
Uh-huh.
And then what the quiet, still voice you hear in your head is so many positives, you'll go, that's got to be God, because I wouldn't talk that nice to myself.
Exactly.
It's just, I love you. You're wonderful. You're my child. And, you start your day after hearing those kinds of things, and it's going to be a great day.
I think what I love about that is in each of those examples that you shared, you started with a heart of surrender. And that is, Lord, I'm just coming to you as your daughter, as your precious daughter, and I want to hear from you. And so I think that's a really important part is the surrender.
It's different now. That's what I like about this season. But when I was in business, it was, okay, Lord, I have a meeting today with these particular people.
Uh-huh.
What do I need to know?
Yeah.
And he'd give me tips about certain personalities and certain people and how I needed to steer the meeting. So God, he's a great CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
he,
does.
he gives you good advice that way. So yeah, yeah, he'll
Yeah.
show up.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So, what if when we go back to thinking about identity, what are I love the phrase, it takes a Goliath to reveal a David.
Yeah.
It's one of my new favorite phrases.
Yeah.
And the David is your identity. So, can you think of any Goliaths or anything that helped cause you to even step into your identity further?
I think the story that I was telling you earlier about a transition time for me, it was really hard because at that point in time, I didn't realize it, but so much of my identity was tied up in what I was doing, and it was a stronghold, and I had to work through that, and I think that's one of the things that helps me be able to help other people because I've chosen to walk through and overcome that stronghold because I had done it for so long and it became everything that I was, and so to be able to let go of that and completely release myself from that and know that God's got a whole nother opportunity in front of me to be able to embrace that. And so for me, that was what really revealed the truth of who I am, that I am his daughter first and foremost. And that's who my identity is. It's not in my career, it's not in my relationships, it's in being his daughter.
Mhm. Now, I'm gonna shift just a little bit because you talk about the difference between declarations and resolution.
I love that.
Uh-huh.
So many people wanna make resolutions at the beginning of the year, but I think it's important for us to reframe that. Let's make some declarations because resolutions are based on willpower, and it's just hopeful statements that we make. I want to lose weight. I wanna make more money. I want to accomplish this. But declarations allow us to frame our future self. Who do I want to be at the end of 2026? If I want to be a person who is 10 pounds lighter, then I need to say, I'm a person who honors my body and I'm going to create actions that support that declaration rather than I want to lose weight. That's just a pretty vague statement. So I love declarations. Another one is a good steward of my financial resources. Okay, so if I'm a good steward of my financial resources, I'm going to create actions that help me accomplish being a good steward. I'm going to create a budget. I'm going to review my budget. I'm going to stay within my budget. But if I just say, I want to make more money, that's pretty vague. How do I make that happen? And so that's why I think declarations are so important. In physics, we learned that words are not just sounds; they are vibrations. And so every time we speak, it releases vibrations out. One of the things that I like to talk about is in the Peanuts cartoons. There's the little character called Pigpen, and so poor little Pigpen. Every time you see him, he's got all this dirt and soot coming up from the bottom of him. So I have a choice. I can either make a declaration of who my future self is going to be, or I can speak negative statements about myself and I'm going to look like Pigpen. Well, I don't want to look like Pigpen. I want to look like that person who's moving toward my future self to be able to accomplish what God's called me to accomplish.